Oh my god, she's a weirdo.
Hello, 'tis I, Fat Cow. While I was drawing this morning, I was listening to Amber's last live again, so passively paying attention. And there was a couple of things that were said that came to my attention, and then I had what I can only call an epiphany. Now, I could be really, really off base here, but I think my theory, my conspiracy, as a cat scratching a chair, has some validity, but I'll get to that. The first thing I want to point out is Amber shouting at her audience, I am the victim this time, which kind of implies that all the other times that she's cried victim in her relationship, she wasn't, which we knew. But this is an admission of some sort. You weren't the victim in the other relationships because you were the perpetrator, the antagonist. So I am the victim this time says a lot, not about now, but about previously. She also said, maybe it's karma. I'm in the most awful relationship I've been in, and somehow it's my fault. You're in the relationship, are you? You're still in this awful, 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 toxic, abusive relationship that's so bad for you, that's making you come on live and fall to pieces. You're in the relationship, which made me think up until yesterday, the day before, allegedly, because Amber texted Emily while she was in hospital, which was a few days ago. Why would the pair of them still be in contact given everything that's happened? And why is Emily going to so many different reaction channels? She's very prolific in her spreading of evidence. She could have stuck to just one channel, but she's been very generous and spreading the joy. She's getting around, let's say, politely, not in the dirty way. And that's where the epiphany came in. I'm still in the most awful relationship, and the fact they're still communicating. Now, I'm not saying that Amber is a willing participant in what I'm about to say. She might be willing. She might be being deceived somewhat in the nature of their current relationship. But Emily has a very particular desire, let's say, for a very particular type of woman, and encouraging that particular kind of woman to become more particular, let's say. Now, this particular desire, you know what I'm talking about, very closely goes hand in hand with another particular desire, and that is humiliation. My theory, my conspiracy, my epiphany explains why Emily is going to all these reactors, because she's spreading the information. She's spreading the humiliation of Amber to as many people in girl world that she can. And Amber, whether knowingly and willingly or unknowingly, is putting her humiliation online also. Now, this has given me a bit of an ick. If I'd been approached by Emily and I had put forward her evidence of Amber's utter shitness online, and then retrospectively realised I was being used, I unknowingly participated in the humiliation of Amber to fulfill a desire. Editing me here, I just realised that by watching all of this as well, we are all participating in the humiliation of Amber to fulfill the sexual desires of Emily. So I've given myself the ick twice and probably given you the ick too. I would feel a bit dirty. It would definitely give me the ick. And this explains a lot. The feederism and the fat fetishism and the wanting to render people immobile and completely reliant on you and needing you to physically look after them, wash them, bedpan them, put on diapers for them, is very runs in tandem with a humiliation kink. And what Emily is currently doing and still doing by keeping in touch with Amber is perpetuating the humiliation of Amber. Is also Emily getting her jollies vicariously via the internet in the absence of physically being present with Amber. Now, what does Amber get out of this? If she's knowingly participating in this humiliation, she is satisfying her partner who makes her feel desirable. I know it sounds peculiar, but this is how it works in this particular sphere. You need the humiliator and the humiliee. And there are people that willingly participate in being humiliated. We know this. It might seem a bit odd to a lot of people, but we know this. Amber is participating in the role play, let's say, satisfying her partner. Her partner will reward her in ways that feed her ego. And this is making Amber an awful lot of money. If it is consensual and known about, it's a win-win-win for all people involved. Emily gets her jollies off. Amber is admired by Emily. Amber's still in a relationship with Emily, who, on a very surface level, finds Amber incredibly appealing because she fulfills a lot of Emily's desires and she's increasing in girth as we watch. And Amber's in a relationship. She feels wanted and she's making a shit ton of money. So I'm not saying Amber knows that this is what's happening. I'm not saying that Amber is willingly participating, but I'm not saying she's not either. That's my conspiracy. That's my theory. And as incomprehensible as it may be to a lot of people, there's a certain demographic that this makes complete and utter sense to. Now that I've put that awful, awful, awful thought in your mind and given you all the ick, foodie beauty. The fact that she believes she's going to succeed in her endeavour to get Salah to Canada is very much in line with Foodie's narcissistic belief that she deserves everything she wants and that life has been a bit shit, and as a consequence she needs to be rewarded for having a bit of a shitty start, ignoring the fact that most of the shit that happens in her life is caused by her and her choices. She utterly believes she's incredibly smart and devious, and she knows she's manipulative, and she legitimately believes she can get one over the Canadian government. She believes she won in terms of everything that happened in Kuwait because she hasn't been penalised for it in her eyes. There's been no legal ramifications. She thinks she got away with it. I mean, the fact she's now in Syria kind of suggests not. But anyway, so she legitimately thinks I've been with Salah for 3 years, pretending to be legitimately married, and that's going to be enough because she's foodie effing beauty. You know, she's royalty. She's above everybody else and should have special treatment. When it fails, it'll be our fault because we reported Salah. It won't be because Salah has a record of applying and failing. It won't be because Salah has an online presence that indicates he has thoughts that don't line with how the Canadian government think. It won't be because all evidence online shows that the marriage is a complete and utter scam. No, it'll be our fault because it's always our fault. Somebody or too many people reported him and we spoil it for her. As we spoil everything for her because we have no life. We have nothing to do. So torturing foodie is our reasons to live and exist. I mean, I'm literally pulling commentary out of my arse now because foodie is, well, in her words, being so fucking entertaining